Imagine this for a moment. Somewhere beyond the boundaries of what you see and touch, there exists another version of you. Not a metaphorical you, not just a daydream of who you could be, but a living, breathing version of yourself, existing in a reality just as real as this one. This version of you makes different choices, experiences different challenges, and follows paths you might never take here. And yet, despite these differences, you are deeply connected. Now, what if this other self is not silent? What if they are trying to send you messages, subtle signals woven into your daily life? The idea may sound like pure science fiction, but both philosophy and physics invite us to consider that reality is not as simple as a single line. Instead, it may be a vast, branching web of infinite possibilities. Every decision, every thought, every intention could generate new versions of reality, new versions of you. And if that's true, then perhaps the wisdom of these other selves is not locked away in inaccessible dimensions, but reaching you right now, waiting for you to notice. Today, we're going to explore this idea deeply. We'll look at how both science and spirituality describe parallel realities, the most common signs that another version of you is trying to communicate, practices for aligning with those versions and receiving their wisdom, and finally, how to integrate their messages into your life to unlock new possibilities. So let's begin this journey together, one that could reshape the way you see your own life, your choices, and your true potential. Parallel realities, philosophy, spirit, and science. The idea of parallel realities is not new. Philosophers, mystics, and scientists alike have speculated on the possibility that reality is not singular, but plural. From a philosophical lens, parallel realities can be seen as expressions of human freedom. Every choice contains countless alternatives, and in an infinite universe, perhaps none of those alternatives vanish. They all continue somewhere. If you chose to move to another city, there might be a version of you who did. If you stayed in a relationship instead of leaving, there might be a version of you still living that story. Each decision branches reality into new narratives. Spiritually, many traditions describe creation as an unfolding of consciousness. Each thought, feeling, and intention doesn't just influence your life here. It resonates outward, creating entire worlds. In this view, you are more than one being living one life. You are a multidimensional being, simultaneously experiencing infinite realities. The self you know here is only a single thread in a vast cosmic tapestry. Science, too, points toward this possibility. Quantum physics shows us that subatomic particles don't exist in a fixed state until they are observed. They exist in probabilities, in multiple states at once. This is called superposition. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that every potential outcome actually occurs, but in different universes. This is known as the many worlds interpretation. In other words, every time a choice is made, reality doesn't collapse into just one option. It splits. Both outcomes exist in parallel. Philosophy, spirituality, and physics may speak different languages, but together, they hint at the same profound idea. The self you know is only one expression of your infinite potential, signs of communication from your parallel selves. If these parallel selves exist, the natural question is, how do they reach us? Let's explore some of the most common signs that another version of you may be trying to communicate. Déjà vu. We've all experienced that strange feeling. I've been here before. I've lived this moment already. Déjà vu might not simply be a glitch in memory. It could be a bleed-through from another timeline, where another you already experienced this moment. For just a few seconds, the walls between realities thin, and you catch a glimpse of your other life. Synchronicities. These are meaningful coincidences that feel too precise to be random. Maybe you keep seeing the same numbers, 1111 on clocks, or a sequence of repeating digits. Maybe a word, phrase, or symbol keeps showing up in a book, on a billboard, in casual conversation. Perhaps you're considering a major life decision, like a career change, and suddenly, signs pointing toward that path appear everywhere. Synchronicities may be your parallel self, who already made that choice, guiding you toward alignment. Dreams. Dreams are powerful portals. When you dream of unfamiliar places, unknown people, or lives that don't match your current reality, but still feels strangely familiar. You may be glimpsing the life of a parallel you. Vivid dreams that linger long after waking, or recurring dreams with consistent themes, could be communication from these other selves. Lucid dreams are especially powerful because they give you the ability to consciously explore these alternate realities. Feeling out of place. Have you ever been somewhere familiar, yet suddenly felt disoriented, as if reality didn't quite fit? A building seems different, or an object isn't where you remember it. For a moment, it feels like you slipped into the wrong version of reality. These strange disconnections may be subtle reminders that your consciousness is brushing against another timeline. Intuition. That deep inner knowing that pushes you toward a choice without logical explanation may be more than instinct. Intuition may be a message from another self, one that already knows the outcome and is gently nudging you toward it. Similarly, sudden shifts in interests, behaviors, or even personality traits may reflect influence from another version of you integrating into your present awareness. When you notice these signs, the next step is to ask, what are they pointing me toward? Practices for alignment. So how can we consciously tune into these other selves and strengthen the connection? The answer lies in vibrational alignment. Everything in existence vibrates at a frequency. Thoughts, emotions, actions, they all generate energy. Each parallel version of you vibrates at its own frequency, aligned with the life it is living. If you want to connect with a version of yourself who lives in peace, abundance, or joy, you must align with that vibration. Here are some practices. Gratitude. Daily gratitude shifts your focus to abundance, raising your frequency to align with realities where abundance flows naturally. Forgiveness. Releasing resentment frees trapped energy and elevates your vibration, opening the path to higher versions of yourself. Compassion. Choosing kindness creates resonance with realities where harmony is the natural state. Meditation. Meditation clears mental noise, creating space to perceive subtle signals from your other selves. Visualization during meditation allows you to step into the life of your higher version. Conscious living. Eating nourishing foods, engaging in physical movement, and surrounding yourself with uplifting influences keeps your energy clear and receptive. Self-observation. Reflect daily on your thoughts and emotions. Ask, are these aligned with the version of myself I wish to embody? If not, consciously choose new ones. Consistency is key. This is not about occasional practices, but daily alignment, a steady tuning of your inner instrument to resonate with the frequency of your higher self. Interpreting the messages. Once you begin noticing signs and practicing alignment, you'll receive more messages. But how do you interpret them? The first step is validation. Don't dismiss them as just coincidence or just a dream. Accept them as meaningful. The second step is documentation. Keep a journal of your dreams, synchronicities, and intuitions. Over time, patterns will emerge. You may notice recurring themes, symbols, or directions. The third step is contemplation. Sit with the message in meditation. Ask, what does this mean for me? Don't expect a logical answer. Instead, let intuition guide you. Often, meaning arrives not as words, but as a feeling, a knowing. And finally, the fourth step is application. Integrate what you learn. If a dream repeatedly shows you living with creativity, perhaps it's time to explore art or music in your waking life. If synchronicities point toward a relationship, maybe you're being nudged to open your heart. The messages will only transform your reality if you act upon them. Integration. Living the wisdom of your other selves. Integration is where philosophy becomes life. Recognizing signs is valuable. Interpreting them is profound. But transformation happens only when you live differently because of them. If your intuition pulls you toward a new path, dare to take the first step. If synchronicities highlight a possibility, explore it with curiosity. If dreams reveal a life of joy or mastery, bring a piece of that life into your daily reality. Think of integration as weaving threads from other realities into the fabric of your current one. Each choice you make in alignment with your higher versions reshapes your path, bringing you closer to the fullest expression of your being. The more you integrate, the more you expand. Your sense of identity grows beyond the limits of this single reality. You realize that you are not just one self. You are a symphony of selves, all contributing to the music of your existence. So what if the versions of you scattered across infinite realities are not strangers, but guides? What if every déjà vu, every dream, every synchronicity is a whisper from another self, reminding you of who you can be? By raising your vibration, noticing the signs, and courageously integrating their messages, you step into a greater truth, that you are not bound by a single story. You are an infinite being, capable of aligning with the highest and most luminous version of yourself. And that is the gift of exploring parallel realities, not as distant theories, but as living wisdom that can shape your life right now. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this video spoke to you, I invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with others who may be ready to hear this message. And I'd love to know, have you ever felt déjà vu, synchronicities, or dreams that felt like glimpses of another life? Share your experiences in the comments. I'll be reading them. Until next time, take care, and remember, the other versions of you are always closer than you think.